Engaged for 3 years. Yan Shengshu was holding a young girl outside and said to his friend, "I've long lost any feelings for Wen Ying. She's the one who insisted on marrying me. This time, I threw away the engagement ring and left the Yan family for good. He thought I would be like before, looking for him within a week. Until news broke out that I was dating a mysterious man. Yan Shengshu started panicking, bombarding me with messages. Wen Ying, have you had enough of this? Come back now." I sent a picture of the man next to me, showing his abs. Not available. Yan Shengshu promised to spend my birthday with me but didn't return home until 9 p.m. He passed the living room with just a quick glance and went upstairs alone. When he came down again, he had changed into a new outfit and was about to leave. "Shengshu," I called out to him. Yan Shengshu didn't turn around, dismissively saying, "I have a contract to discuss tonight." I hurriedly asked, "Don't you remember what day it is today?" He quickened his pace, saying, "We'll talk when I get back." The car sped off into the cold night. I sat alone for an hour, a bitterness in my heart with no place to vent. Finally, it was Mrs. Wu who spoke up. "Miss Wen, should I heat up the meal?" I calmly got up. "No need." Then, I went upstairs. On the stool by the bed were clothes and shoes Yan Shengshu had carelessly thrown around. As I started to clean up, several messages suddenly popped up on my phone. They were from my best friend, Chao Bela. "You said you were going to have a 2-person celebration. But how come Yan Shengshu is here? Damn, 8 men and 30 girls. Look at what he's saying." Then, she sent a video. I shakily opened it, the screen filled with smoke, loud music, and blurred faces, everyone looking intoxicated. Yan Shengshu was holding a cigar in one hand, and with the other, his arm was wrapped around a girl's waist. "Wen Ying, I've long lost feelings for her. It was her who begged me to marry her. You and Wen Ying used to be the golden couple in our eyes. And she's so beautiful, don't you care? When we were young, we didn't know better. Had feelings but forgot them easily. Yet she keeps clinging to the past, it's so annoying. Also, Wen Ying is too serious, there's no fun in her." After hearing this, I felt my mind go blank, my heart torn open. I sat on the edge of the bed for the whole night. And Yan Shengshu still hadn't returned. Finally, I made up my mind. I started packing my things. And there was a photo on the table, taken 10 years ago. The boy and girl were wearing white school uniforms, smiling carefree. I smashed the frame, took the photo out, and burned it. After all, he had said more than once that the photo was ugly. At dawn, Yan Shengshu came back, reeking of alcohol. He didn't say a word, just collapsed onto the bed. As I was walking out with my suitcase, Yan Shengshu groggily opened his eyes and hoarsely asked, "Where are you going?" "Home." "When will you come back?" "Never again." Yan Shengshu suddenly sat up, his gaze sharp as he asked, "Wen Ying, what do you mean?" I calmly replied, "We're breaking up." "Say that again." I took off the engagement ring and threw it at him, clearly saying, "Yan Shengshu, we're breaking up." Yan Shengshu glanced at the ring beside him, then smiled nonchalantly and lay back down. Confidently, he said, "Fine, Wen Ying. If you have the guts, then don't ever come back." I had brought up breaking up many times in these 3 years, but I always took it back. But this time, it was for real. Chao Bela arranged a massive celebration, a grand party to cheer me up. It had been so long since I had gone to a bar. She kept complaining for over 2 hours. "I've never liked Yan Shengshu. What a loser," went abroad, and came back with a different heart. "You've got bad eyesight, wasting so many years on a guy like him. You're the eldest daughter of the Wen family, the chief designer at Haolan Jewelry. You could have any guy you want." I silently drank a glass of wine, smiled, and said, "I don't love him anymore. Not at all." "Hey, don't cry. I'm not scolding you." Chao Bela was frantically wiping my tears. I buried my face in her chest and cried uncontrollably. It had been suppressed for too long. My mom passed away not long ago, and soon after, my dad remarried a beautiful woman who had a son. I felt like I became an outsider. I was bullied by my stepmother and her son. And my dad never trusted me, making me weak and timid. Yan Shengshu was the first light in my life. From that moment, he was always by my side. And no one bullied me anymore. At that time, I thought we would be together forever. We met at 13, fell in love at 17, broke up at 20, and when we met again 3 years later, we were strangers to each other. During the time Yan Shengshu was abroad, he had brought up breaking up more than once. His friends said he had a girlfriend abroad. But I didn't believe it, even seeing intimate photos. I kept lying to myself. He didn't want to be with me, but under the pressure from his family, He compromised and got engaged to me, which he resented. Back then, I always relied on memories, fantasizing that the passionate boy would come back to me. In the end, the one who persisted paid a heavy price. 13 years, 27 years old, growth is instant. Everything went away with the tears. Chow Bela suddenly slammed the table. Damn it, I'll call 100 handsome guys over. Whatever, we'll start fresh. I laughed. You don't think I love him because he's handsome, do you? I get it, but you're too honest. Yan Shengshu has a bunch of women outside. Why can't you have some fun with other men? Chow Bela's phone was blowing up. Though not with 100 men, the VIP booth was full. It made me dizzy, one handsome guy after another. Drinks kept coming, and I was getting tipsy. In a blur, I suddenly saw a man sitting alone in the corner. Wearing a black coat, his fingers holding a transparent wine glass. His every movement oozed restrained masculinity. But I was too drunk to make out his face. I shook Chow Bela and pointed, asking, "Who's that?" She squinted and rubbed her eyes. "Who? Where's the handsome guy?" I pushed her aside and walked over unconsciously. Standing in front of the man. Tilting my head, looking him up and down. His eyebrows were sharp, his lips red and teeth white. And his eyes had a seductive glimmer. Suddenly, I was bumped into, falling right into his arms. My hands instinctively gripping his neck. The man remained still, calmly looking down at me. I held him tighter and asked teasingly, "Have we met before?" The man raised an eyebrow. "Oh, where have we met?" "Before the world ends." The man chuckled softly, pulling me close and blowing in my ear. A shiver ran through me. His deep, seductive voice came through. "I've been waiting for you." My heart seemed to explode, thumping violently. Our eyes met, full of desire. I tightened my arms around his neck, gently biting him. "Let's go somewhere else." I'm not sure who made the first move. But we kissed our way to the hotel. As soon as the door opened, he slammed me against the wall, kissing and biting. The pain made me snap back to reality. And I couldn't help but hit him twice. Angrily, I said, "You hurt me." The man immediately softened his movements, cupping my face, and gently traced my brow, eyes, nose, and lips. My body trembled, barely able to stay on my feet. He picked me up and laid me on the bed. But as he started to undress me, he suddenly stopped. Supporting himself with one hand, he asked seriously, "Wen Ying, do you know who I am?" I squinted, he seemed somewhat familiar. But I had no memory of him. I grabbed his tie and pulled it down. "I know, just hurry up." The man wrapped his arms around me tightly, and in a low voice said, "Wen Ying, you're the one who seduced me. You can't back out now." The night raged on, everything drowned out by cries and sounds. Until I was woken up by a ringing phone. Chow Bela shrieked, "My God, where did you run off with last night?" I woke up to find myself alone, the clothes neatly folded. If it weren't for the tiredness in my body and the red marks all over me, I would have thought last night was just a dream. I stammered, and Chow Bela seemed to understand. "He's handsome." "Huh? How was it in bed?" "Girl, you're amazing." I was confused. The man's face was unclear in my mind. It seemed like he had kept calling my name last night. Did he know me? Shocked, I hurried to get out of bed and dress. There was a phone number on the top. I tossed it aside. Chow Bela immediately asked if I used protection. And I pointed to the trash can, which made her finally relax. She then picked up the piece of paper and laughed. "Oh, you left your number. Are you planning on having a next time?" I was about to stop her, but the phone was already dialed. When it connected, a low voice came through. "Hello?" Chow Bela froze. After a minute, the voice came again. "Wen Ying?" We looked at each other. Chow Bela immediately hung up the phone. I was anxious. He seems to know me. Chow Bela was more flustered. Stomping her feet. "Sister, that's Kai Jiao." Kai Jiao? This name hadn't been heard in almost 10 years. He was a high school classmate, but we barely spoke. Now Kai Jiao was well known in business and had taken over the company at a young age. How could the man from last night be him? It was awkward because, during our school days, he didn't get along with Shengshu at all. Chow Bela couldn't calm down, muttering, "It really is Kai Jiao. Damn, girl, if you sleep with him, you've hit the jackpot." Last night was a release, but I didn't have time to think further. I didn't want to return to the Wen family. So I moved into the house I had bought earlier. Bela booked a restaurant to celebrate my independence. As we passed the private room, I saw Yan Shengshu next door. I could hear them laughing and talking inside. "Mr. Sheng, did you really break up with Wen Ying?" "Of course. She was the one who asked for it." "TCH. Who doesn't know Wen Ying can't live without you? You've broken up and made up how many times? And in the end, she's still begging you to forgive her and get back together. Everyone laughed. Hey. How long do you think Wen Ying will last this time? 5 days. Half a month? Shengshu smiled confidently. At most a week. I smiled back, calmly walking away. Bela kept pushing me to go to the bar, but I kept rejecting her. I had a few contracts recently and was too busy. 2 weeks later, I suddenly received a phone call. The man's voice was sharp. Wen Ying, are you playing with me? I paused and tentatively asked. Kai Jiao, did you think I had already forgotten about you? I had to admit, he was right. So I said, wasn't it you who ran first? There was silence on the other end for a moment. And then he asked, do you want to try again and see if I'll run? Let's try it. Kai Jiao had booked a cruise project, and coincidentally, my favorite designer was also on it. Without hesitation, I accepted his invitation. On the cruise, I had a few drinks to build up courage, greeted the designer, exchanged WeChats, and we had a great time. I don't know how many glasses of champagne I drank, and my head was spinning. I stood by the railing, feeling the breeze and trying to shake off the alcohol. Kai Jiao handed me a bottle of water. Smiling, had a good time? I took the water, drank it coolly. Yes, very happy. I haven't been this happy in a while. That's good. Suddenly, it hit me that I hadn't paid attention to Kai Jiao all day. He wasn't angry at all, and I felt embarrassed. I shyly said, sorry, Kai Jiao. I was so excited to see Teacher Chow Di. I forgot about you. Kai Jiao lit a cigarette. No need to apologize. I just want you to be happy. The breeze brushed by, and I found Kai Jiao's face more and more charming, making my head spin even more. A wave made me lose my balance, and I bumped into Kai Jiao. He caught me, looking worried. Wen Ying, are you okay? I hugged his waist and rested my face on his chest. Not really. I'm dizzy. I want to sleep. He carried me to the room. The bright sunlight made me dizzy, and I woke up with a pounding headache. Kai Jiao was in a white bathrobe, his hair damp, as if he had just showered, holding breakfast in his hands. I looked at myself, and I was in a bathrobe too. I awkwardly asked, did we sleep again? Kai Jiao smiled mischievously at me. Miss Wen, are you going to take responsibility? I was dumbfounded, and urgently asked, did you wear protection? Kai Jiao's gaze darkened. I was just joking. I threw up last night, even on me. My clothes are with the service staff getting cleaned. Thank you. Kai Jiao began eating breakfast when he suddenly asked, Wen Ying, have you really broken up with Shengshu? Yes. Won't you get back together? No. I was wondering why he was asking so much when I noticed Kai Jiao was staring at me, his face flushing. He asked seriously, can I pursue you? I was stunned, not saying yes or no. I told Bela about this later, and she was immediately excited. Why not? Such a perfect guy. Playing with my feelings is fine, but I can't. Of course. Baby, you need to learn from your mistakes. The more you play hard to get, the more he'll love you. I'd heard of Kai Jiao. His reputation was good. No bad habits. He seemed promising. Bela told me to think it over. I didn't dwell on it. Maybe he was just playing. While shopping with Bela, my phone vibrated repeatedly, and there were 7 or 8 messages from WeChat. I opened it to see, and it was from Yan Shengshu. After half a month apart, he was messaging me for the first time. But it wasn't good news. He had sent a few pictures and was questioning me. Who is this man? You better explain. Is there someone else behind my back? The pictures showed me and Kai Jiao on the ship. He was hugging me, and we were looking intimate. I was so angry I couldn't help but laugh. We've broken up. It's none of your business. Bela grabbed my phone in anger. How dare he say anything to you? That jerk. Then she typed a long string of curses. She said, baby, you're too nice, too soft. If you curse him a few times, see if he dares say anything. I never knew how to do that. But I had become a little bolder with Bela. After she finished, she wasn't satisfied and grabbed her own phone to curse him out. She comforted me, saying, you've been too nice. But let's stand up for ourselves. Protect your dignity. I hugged her and snuggled. Okay, I'll listen to you. In the end, I didn't feel like shopping anymore. So I went home to sleep. At night, Kai Jiao came rushing over, his tie crooked and holding a strawberry cheesecake. He knew I loved it, and since I loved sweets but feared gaining weight, I had quit eating them. I took out a plate and cut the cake. Why are you in such a hurry? Kai Jiao looked at me. Bela said you were upset. And I was worried you'd be alone. No wonder she had so many excuses to run away when I asked her to accompany me this afternoon. I chuckled. What's there to be afraid of? I'm not a child. It always feels like you haven't grown up, she replied. Remember when you saw me hitting someone and you hid far away? Back then, he and Sheng Waichu were fighting. I was really scared of all violence. And I even hated him for a while. I posted a picture of a cake on WeChat. Being remembered is a kind of happiness. Sheng Waichu immediately replied in the comments. Who remembers you? Wen Ying. Don't push it. Bela started arguing with him in the comments. I pretended not to see it. Kai Jiao asked. Are you cooking by yourself? No time to cook. Then let me help you, huh? Before I could refuse, Kai Jiao had already called his assistant to bring the stuff over. From then on, Kai Jiao took charge of my meals. 3 times a day. His cooking wasn't great, but it was healthy. He didn't cross boundaries either. He was either working or working out. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, defined abs, and well-shaped muscles. Every time I sneaked a look, I couldn't help but swallow. Damn, he was so hot. After nearly a month, I found myself enjoying it more and more. My phone kept buzzing during meals. Sheng Waichu sent messages asking where I was staying. His tone was very aggressive, threatening that I would regret it. I turned off the sound with a straight face and covered my phone. Kai Jiao glanced over. Who's that? Just a mad dog, I said lightly. Kai Jiao didn't ask any more questions. While doing the dishes, I poured myself a glass of red wine and leaned against the balcony, watching Kai Jiao clean the kitchen. After he finished, he took off his apron and walked towards me. Feeling down, I finished my glass of wine in one go and asked. Kai Jiao, do you want to be with me? Kai Jiao was very firm. Yes, I've wanted to for a long time. I put the glass down, walked up to him, and reached out to hug him. Slowly, I kissed him. Kai Jiao whispered in my ear. Do you agree to be with me now? I didn't answer, just kept kissing him. Finally, Kai Jiao picked me up. The living room, the sofa, the bathroom, the bedroom. Every time I begged him to stop, he became more aggressive. Ah Ying, you started this. By dawn, holding the person next to me. It was the first time I felt so at peace. When I woke up, there were many missed calls and messages from Sheng Waichu. His tone had gone from aggressive to pleading. Wen Ying, have you had enough of this? Come back right now. This is your last chance. We'd broken up so many times, and I was always the one who tried to fix things. This was the first time I heard him say those words. But I never wanted to go back. I gently pulled the blanket off Kai Jiao and snapped a picture of his abs before sending it to Sheng Waichu. No time. Immediately, Sheng Waichu called me. But I accidentally swiped it away and tossed the phone onto Kai Jiao. Kai Jiao barely opened his eyes, glanced at me, then picked up the phone. His eyes snapped open when he saw who it was. I tried to grab the phone, but his hand shot up and answered the call. Wen Ying, who are you with? Sheng Waichu's voice was frantic. Kai Jiao smiled slightly. Mr. Yan, long time no see. It was such an awkward moment. I buried my face under the blanket, and Kai Jiao wrapped his arms around me. Sheng Waichu gritted his teeth. Kai Jiao? Let Wen Ying answer the phone. Kai Jiao casually replied. She's a little busy right now. She can't come down. But I'll have her call you after she's done. Kai Jiao, you shameless jerk. But I have a girlfriend. Hey, I laughed, my body shaking. The call was ended, and Kai Jiao looked down at me. We laughed together for a few minutes, unable to stop. Then, Kai Jiao suddenly asked. Are you hungry? I'll make us something. As I was getting up, I suddenly grabbed his hand. Kai Jiao, let's be together. Kai Jiao paused, hesitating before asking. Say that again. We're together. Kai Jiao was so excited. He rolled back into the blanket and hugged me tightly. Ah Ying, I'm so happy. I shyly pushed him away. Go cook. I'm starving. One more time. He pulled the blanket up with one hand. At first, I was impulsive and hesitant. But once Kai Jiao and I confirmed our relationship, my heart felt at ease. Being with him was genuinely relaxing. He didn't mind that I often worked overtime, that my cooking wasn't the best, or that I had a little extra weight. Bela said, this is clearly destiny. Sheng Waichu kept sending me messages, claiming that Kai Jiao used to be a thug and had entangled himself with many women. He said that being with him wouldn't lead to happiness and that it wouldn't last. Was he talking about himself? It was so annoying that I blocked him right away. Xiao Wu invited me to his birthday. We were classmates and old friends. Also Sheng Waichu's brothers. I told him, If this is a setup for Sheng Waichu, then don't bother calling me. Xiao Wu was reluctant. Sister Wen. We've been friends for so many years. Don't be so heartless. He lowered his voice and quietly said. Old Yan really knows he was wrong. He's been in a bad mood lately, drinking every day. No one's seen him like this. Wen Ying, with the feelings you've shared with him, give him a chance. I laughed when I heard that. If he really cared about me, he should have taken action to fix things. Not drink himself into oblivion every day to show how deep his feelings are. Who's he fooling? Xiao Wu, don't mention him again. It disgusts me. Xiao Wu muttered. Sister Wen's really angry. Looks like she really won't go back. Doesn't matter. It was Sheng Waichu's voice. Always so arrogant. Xiao Wu quickly explained. All right. Sister Wen, I won't bother you anymore. After spending so much time with Bela, I found myself speaking much more bluntly. Afterward, strange numbers started messaging me. The language wasn't sharp anymore, and it changed to daily greetings. How's your day? How's your health? Are you happy? They frequently sent jewelry, always from my favorite brand. Expensive, exquisite, and detailed. This was his tactic to chase young girls. 2 words. Annoying, cheap. I left the jewelry in the living room since I didn't have time to return it. Kai Jiao picked it up and started playing with it, laughing as he examined it. Which guy sent this? Don't you know you don't like this brand? I was surprised. How did you know I don't like this brand? You don't wear any of this brand's jewelry anymore. If you really liked it, wouldn't you have bought something by now? Impressive, Mr. Kai. He put the jewelry down and walked toward me. It was sent by Sheng Waichu, right? Yeah, I was about to send it back. Kai Jiao suddenly took it and said, I'll return it for you. I'll make sure he never dares to send you anything again. I supported my chin and looked at him. You're not jealous, are you? He wrapped his arm around my waist. Why would I be jealous? I get to hold the real thing. This trust made me feel secure and at ease. I turned and hung my hands around his neck, kissing him gently. It's so nice. His breathing quickened, and he picked me up, kissing me as he walked. Our clothes started falling off as we moved. Kai Jiao had someone put the jewelry Sheng Waichu sent on a dog collar and took it to the company to announce it over a loudspeaker. In the video, Sheng Waichu's forehead veins were about to burst. Bela rolled on the sofa, laughing and crying. Kai Jiao is a genius. That bastard, Sheng Waichu, had never been humiliated like this. Sure enough, I never received anything from him again. Except for one message. Wen Ying, you've gone too far, trampling on my sincerity, when he was trampling on others. Did he think about karma? Deserved. Can't you give me another chance? No, I replied B firmly, and the other side fell silent. I thought he would give up, but one night, I received a call from Xiao Wu. He said that Sheng Waichu had gotten into an accident and was in the hospital, in critical condition. I sighed in annoyance. I'm not a doctor. How can I bring him back to life? Wen Ying, you were classmates. Can't you at least take a look? Don't be so heartless. Bela called last night. She said you had 10 other girls with you. So, what? Did you wear him out? The other side ran out of excuses and hung up. I turned off my phone, tossed it aside, and snuggled into Kai Jiao's arms. Adjusting into a comfortable position to sleep, Kai Jiao suddenly asked, if he really dies, would you feel soft-hearted? I'll hire a band to see him off. Kai Jiao laughed, heartless. Recently, work has been busy, so I switched to a new card to avoid these dirty distractions. Kai Jiao had a project to wrap up and was finally free after a month. I just finished a design draft, so I had some free time. We both decided to go on a trip, tentatively planning for Bali. I asked for travel tips on WeChat and quickly received replies. The next day, Wen Shanhua suddenly called me to come home. When I arrived, he and my stepmother started interrogating me about why I broke up with Sheng Waichu. I remained calm. He doesn't love me. He has many girlfriends. Wen Shanhua angrily said, it's normal for men to play around. Especially someone from the Yan family. What's love got to do with it? Giving economic support is what matters. I can support myself. I don't need his money. You don't need it, but the Wen family does, right? Selfish and self-centered, thinking only of yourself. I'm your daughter, not a tool to be sent off. I won't get back together with Sheng Waichu. If you want a marriage alliance, just marry Wen Dailin off. My stepmother immediately got angry, pointing at me. What are you talking about? Ungrateful. Don't look at your own condition. What do you have? Who else would look at you except the Yan family? Don't you know your own luck? I calmly replied. What I am is not for others to define. And I have a boyfriend, she sneered. Oh, really? You found someone better than Sheng Waichu? Afraid to bring him home? Is it some dirty thug you're messing around with? Wen Shanhua angrily said, whoever it is. You'd better break up and reconcile with Sheng Waichu, a family without reason, especially mine. I ran out, my anger rising. It was definitely Sheng Waichu pulling the strings. I called him and scolded him, crying while venting all my grievances. He stayed silent the whole time and finally said, sorry, Wen Ying. That stunned me. Sheng Waichu was apologizing? I gritted my teeth. Go to hell. When Kai Jiao came back, he saw me on the sofa, eyes red. He immediately dropped the documents and rushed over. Who bullied you? In the past, when I was upset, Sheng Waichu just scolded me and stared at my defeated face. Thinking about it made me break down, crying in his chest. Kai Jiao held me tightly, waiting for me to cry myself out before slowly asking what happened. His face was full of determination. Don't worry, I'll handle it. I don't want you to get involved with them. They're bloodsuckers, demons. There will definitely be trouble. Trust me. The next day, the internet exploded with news. Yan Shenghua's girlfriend count kept increasing. His private life a mess. And there were videos of Yan Shengchu entering various clubs. For a moment, I became the subject of everyone's sympathy. When they found out we had broken up, people were cheering, saying I made the right choice to ditch the scumbag. Wen Shanhua and my stepmother sent unusually warm messages, criticizing Sheng Waichu and saying they supported all my decisions. I coldly replied, don't interfere with my life anymore. My stepmother spoke softly. Yes, I know. I wasn't nice before, but I was always thinking of your happiness. From now on, you and Mr. Kai should get along well. Don't fight. So hypocritical. I said, don't worry about it. Yes, we won't. As long as you're happy. By the way, the company has this. I hung up the phone immediately, knowing they had no good intentions. I made a whole spread of dishes at home, planning to treat Kai Jiao. I was halfway through cooking when the doorbell rang. It was only 5 o'clock. Why was he home so early today? I opened the door, and to my surprise, it was Yan Shengchu. I immediately tried to close the door, but he pressed his hand against it, his eyes full of pleading. Wen Ying, are you really going to leave me? If you don't let go, I'll call the police. I've missed you so much while you've been gone. I know I was wrong back then. Please don't be with Kai Jiao, okay? I couldn't help but furrow my brows. Your words are really disgusting to me. Yan Shengchu held up a photo frame in front of me. Inside was the school uniform photo from 10 years ago. The one I had burned. I felt a bit dazed looking at it. His eyes were red, hands trembling. I asked around and got this photo from our classmates. Had it reprinted. You kept it for 10 years, but I didn't cherish it at all. Then, he suddenly broke down in tears. Xiao Wu was right. I was wrong. I lost someone who truly loved me. Ah Ying, please, give me one more chance. My nose suddenly felt tight. Surprised that he could say such sweet things and do such thoughtful things. But in the memories, there was more coldness, more disdain. The photo was from back then, but the person was no longer the same. I wiped away my tears and spoke sharply. Yan Shengchu, your late confession is worth less than dirt. I don't need rotten cabbage. Yan Shengchu grew agitated, shouting angrily. What's so great about Kai Jiao? What's he got that I don't? A sly opportunist. I didn't want to argue with him, but he pushed harder against the door. With one strong shove, I stumbled backward, falling onto the couch. Yan Shengchu had forced his way inside. I shouted, get out. He looked like a beast on the hunt, full of aggression. His words coming out one by one. I'm lowering myself to come find you. You have to give me an answer. It felt like he was going to devour me. I felt goosebumps all over and yelled, don't come any closer. Terrified, I quickly grabbed my phone to call the police and searched for self-defense tools. The next second, Yan Shengchu was yanked by the neck and thrown outside. Kai Jiao started pummeling him with his fists, like he was letting out all his anger. The scene turned chaotic. Kai Jiao had trained before and worked out regularly, so Yan Shengchu was no match for him. Blood started appearing on the ground. Fearing it could turn fatal, I rushed over to pull them apart. Kai Jiao stopped, holding me, asking, did he hurt you? I shook my head, holding his bloodied hand. You're bleeding. Does it hurt? Wen Ying. Yan Shengchu gritted his teeth, calling my name. But I didn't look at him again. I called the police and an ambulance. Yan Shengchu suffered multiple minor fractures and was hospitalized. since there was surveillance footage outside. After the police took statements, they concluded that Yan Shengshu had illegally entered my home and threatened me. Our actions were deemed self-defense. Both the Kai and Yan families stepped in, as both had significant influence, and they decided to seek a settlement. But Kai Jiao insisted otherwise, pulling me out from behind him. The victim is Ah Ying. If we're going to settle, it has to be up to her. I wasn't good at handling this, and I felt awkward. Desperately pulling at his sleeve, Kai Jiao tightened his grip on my hand. His voice gentle. Don't be scared. Ah Ying, I'm here. I was like a paper tiger, lacking confidence in big situations, especially when facing two of Zhongcheng's top figures. I was so anxious I couldn't speak for a while. At that moment, Uncle Yan spoke. Wen Ying. Xiao Sheng messed up this time. I'll go back and educate him properly, considering the relationship between our families. Could you give him one more chance? Yan Yunhai was very smooth in handling things and spoke in a very polite manner. I didn't want to cause more trouble, so I decided to let it go. As we were leaving, Kai Jiao coldly said to Yan Yunhai, President Yan, take care of your son. I don't want my fiancé to be scared again. Yan Yunhai smiled politely. I'm sorry for causing you trouble. After settling the incident, Kai Jiao and I finally set off on our trip. This guy had arranged for a private jet. Before boarding, I received a strange message. Wen Ying, I won't give up on you. Such bad luck. I turned off my phone. The cabin was beautifully decorated, with white gardenias, scented candles, foie gras, and red wine. The atmosphere was warm and romantic. I was both happy and excited. You went all out for just a few hours? Kai Jiao poured the wine. Enjoyment is always available. I bent down to smell the gardenias on the table. The fresh scent made me feel relaxed, almost like I was back in school. You still remember that I love gardenias? In your textbooks, you always had dried gardenias pressed in between the pages. I stepped on one by accident once, and you cried about it. That was a gift from my mom. That's why it hurt so much. Kai Jiao immediately looked like a kid who had done something wrong, anxiously saying, Sorry, I didn't know back then. It's okay. It's all in the past. Didn't you buy me a whole basket of gardenias after that? Kai Jiao shyly scratched his neck, pulled out the chair for me to sit, and started playing some soft music. The two of us got lost in the moment, drinking, eating, and chatting. Suddenly, the plane hit turbulence, and I spilled my wine all over myself. I rushed to the bathroom to change, but the bag only had pajamas inside, lacy white lingerie pajamas. I gritted my teeth, thinking, damn Bela. She said she sent me an expensive nightgown. The air conditioning was on in the plane, and the wet clothes felt cold against my skin. I had no choice but to wear it, and the fabric clung to my body, almost transparent, barely covering anything. I wrapped the shawl tightly around my upper body, nervously standing by the door, afraid to step out. I peeked my head out, whispering, Kai Jiao, could you get the suitcase? What's wrong? He walked over. I hugged my body, stuttering. Why you can't come closer? Kai Jiao became more anxious, rushing over in a few steps. I was so startled that I immediately squatted down, hugging my knees tightly. Kai Jiao squatted down as well, tilting his head to look at me. Are you feeling unwell? I need to get my clothes. But didn't you just change? It's pajamas. It's fine. We're landing right outside the hotel room. No one else is around. I stayed silent, my cheeks burning. Kai Jiao touched my forehead. You're so hot. Are you sick? Let me carry you. Before I could resist, he had already scooped me up into his arms. I froze in place. I let out a scream, not even having time to see his reaction, burying my face in his neck. Don't look. Kai Jiao walked over to the sofa and gently put me down. I shyly covered my face. Kai Jiao leaned down and slowly pulled my hand away. Ah Ying, you're so beautiful. He kissed my eyes, nose, and chin. I awkwardly hugged him, mumbling, this is from Bela. I didn't know. And I'm not fit to wear this. It doesn't look good on me. Kai Jiao looked at me very seriously. You look good in anything. Kai Jiao's voice was deep and tender. Ah Ying, you're the best Ah Ying in the world. From now on, whatever you do, be confident, okay? I was already floating in his embrace, my mind blank, unable to think of anything else, just obediently replying. Ah Ying, are you comfortable?